The Haunting of Ashwood Manor. In the heart of the English countryside, nestled among ancient oaks and misty fields, stood Ashwood Manor. Once a grand estate, it had fallen into disrepair, its windows shattered and ivy crawling over its stone walls like nature's hand, claiming back what was once hers. Local lore spoke of the house in hushed tones, warning of a dark presence that lurked within its shadowy halls. But as is often the case with such tales, the warnings were heeded less and less over time. Enter Emily and Jack, a young couple with a shared passion for history and adventure. They had recently started a YouTube channel where they explored abandoned places, seeking out the stories buried in the past. When they heard about Ashwood Manor, they couldn't resist the allure of its haunted reputation. "Think of the views," Jack had said, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "A real haunted house will finally hit 1 million subscribers." Emily, ever the skeptic but equally excited about the potential, agreed. They packed their cameras, flashlights, and a few snacks, and set off for the manor one crisp autumn morning. The manor looked even more imposing up close, its grandeur marred by decay. They stood at the wrought iron gates, which creaked ominously as they pushed them open. The path leading to the front door was overgrown with weeds, and the air felt thick with an unexplainable heaviness. "Ready?" Jack asked, turning the camera on Emily. She nodded, offering a nervous smile. "Ready as I'll ever be." As they crossed the threshold, the temperature seemed to drop several degrees. Dust motes floated in the beams of sunlight that managed to pierce the grime-covered windows. The silence was palpable, broken only by the creaking of the floorboards under their feet. They moved from room to room, filming and narrating the history they had researched. Ashwood Manor had been built in the 1800s by Lord William Ashwood, a reclusive nobleman with a penchant for the occult. His wife, Lady Eleanor, had vanished under mysterious circumstances, and rumors of dark rituals and strange happenings had plagued the manor ever since. In the grand hall, Emily felt a chill that had nothing to do with the temperature. "Do you feel that?" she asked, hugging herself. Jack shrugged, more focused on getting the perfect shot. "It's an old house, Em. Probably just a draft." But the deeper they ventured, the stronger the sense of unease grew. In the library, they found old tomes filled with arcane symbols and notes scrawled in a language neither could decipher. The air was thick with the scent of mildew and something else, something metallic and sharp. "Look at this," Jack said, pointing to a book that lay open on a lectern. The pages were filled with drawings of twisted, monstrous figures and rituals involving blood sacrifice. Emily shuddered. "This is getting a little too real for me, Jack." But Jack was enthralled. "This is amazing. Our viewers are going to eat this up." They moved on to the upper floors, where the bedrooms were. The sense of dread intensified. Emily could almost hear whispers just out of earshot, and every shadow seemed to twitch and move in the corner of her vision. In one of the bedrooms, they found an old, ornate mirror. Its surface was tarnished and cloudy, but when Emily wiped it clean, she gasped. Reflected in the mirror, she saw not just herself, but a pale woman standing behind her, her eyes wide and hollow. "Jack!" she screamed, spinning around. But there was no one there. Jack rushed to her side. "What? What happened?" "I saw someone, a woman, right behind me." Jack frowned. "Are you sure? Maybe it was just a trick of the light." Emily's hands trembled. "No, I know what I saw." They decided to set up a static camera in the room and moved on, both of them feeling the weight of the manor pressing down on them. They reached the attic, a place that seemed even more oppressive than the rest of the house. Old trunks and forgotten furniture cluttered the space, and the air was thick with dust and decay. As they explored, they found a small locked door hidden behind a stack of crates. Intrigued, Jack managed to pry it open with a crowbar. Inside was a small room, barely more than a closet, with walls covered in strange symbols and candles melted down to stubs. In the center of the room was a small wooden box. Jack reached for it, but Emily grabbed his arm. "Maybe we shouldn't." Jack shook her off. "Come on, Emily. This is what we came for." He opened the box, revealing a collection of old, yellowed papers and a small, intricately carved figurine of a demonic creature. As he lifted the figurine, the air around them seemed to vibrate, and a low, guttural whisper filled the room. "Put it back, Jack!" Emily shouted, panic rising in her voice. But it was too late. The figurine began to glow with an eerie red light. The whispering grew louder, more insistent. The walls seemed to close in, and the temperature plummeted. Suddenly, the whispering stopped. The silence that followed was even more terrifying. Then, from the shadows, a figure emerged. It was the woman from the mirror, her eyes dark and empty. Her mouth opened in a silent scream, and the room was filled with a blinding light. When the light faded, Emily and Jack found themselves standing outside the manor, the box and its contents gone. The house loomed silently behind them, as if nothing had happened. They looked at each other, shaken and pale. "Let's go," Emily whispered, and Jack nodded. As they walked away, they didn't notice the faint, ghostly figure of Lady Eleanor watching them from a window, a sad smile on her lips. When they reviewed the footage later, they found that most of it was corrupted, filled with static and strange noises. Only a few clips were usable, showing glimpses of the horrors they had experienced. They uploaded the video to their channel, and it went viral, but Emily and Jack never returned to Ashwood Manor. The experience had left them scarred, and they could never shake the feeling that they were being watched, even in the safety of their own home. And Ashwood Manor? It still stands, waiting for the next curious souls to cross its threshold, its dark secrets ready to be discovered anew. The villagers continue to warn against it, their whispers carrying on the wind like a cautionary tale. For some doors once opened can never truly be closed.